I want to share with you my favorite tool for working with the wood stove, a fire starting tool or kind of reestablishing a fire tool. Hey everybody, Chad Cruiser here with Health and Homestead. And if you end up liking this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications. It's called the Firedragon, so kind of has an intense name, and it basically looks like a standard poker that you might use to push around the wood within the stove. But this one is made of steel, like you'd probably expect, and it has a steel shaft that's power coated, and it has a brass trumpet end, and that enables you to blow into it. And simple, obviously not that complex. You can blow into a fire. Many people, the historical way you would try to get things kind of moving along in a fire was to use the old bellows, you'd pump them along. But with this stove, what I've noticed, and probably many stoves are that way, if I have it open and I end up blowing into it, it just kind of blows dust and the ashes kind of go everywhere, and they also come back out. But with this, it directs the air, so like a laser beam, and because of that, it's an intense amount of air in one particular place, and it's less liable to just blow ash everywhere. And the intensity of the flame is something that has actually surprised me how intense it is. So because of this, I have to use very, very little kindling, almost no kindling actually. Most of the time, if I have some coals in there, I can simply take out the Firedragon and I can blow underneath the wood that I just set into the wood stove. And within a few blows in general, if I have some good coals going, it just ignites, and then I don't have to waste time. And even in the morning, I have a decently efficient stove. I do have a 2020 stove that is covered by the EPA standards for 2020. So it's one of the newer stoves where they only let out 2.5 grams of emissions per hour. So it's quite efficient. But regardless, I like to not have to spend a lot of time in the morning, but mine isn't super efficient. It's not like some of the brands out there like Blaze King that you can put in your wood and for 40 hours you have a wood burning. I don't have that. So by the time I can basically make it through the night. We load it up before we go to bed, and there's coals in the morning. And this now enables me to, instead of spending time really setting up a fire in the morning, setting up a bunch of kindling, sticking in the cardboard, sticking in some paper, lighting it again, and going through that whole process and then kind of babying it, this thing has basically enabled me, in general, if I have some good coals going, in the morning I can simply put some wood in, do a few blows, and it just takes off. This morning wasn't quite as easy, but in general, that's how it's been. I've really appreciated it. I think about all the time that it will save me not only starting the fire, but not having to go cut kindling all the time. And at this point, I don't cut kindling. I just use some of the bark that is actually on the wood itself. And so that saves time not having to make the kindling. I go out and split the wood, still use an axe. I don't have a hydraulic splitter. So I spend time, and I'm young enough to spend time every day, out there with the axe when I need to be doing that. So I'm going to show you how it works so that you get an idea of how this thing actually works, how the Firedragon works. So let's give it a try. All right, you can use it like a standard poker, moving around the charcoal. You can see I got my plenty of coals still warm. All right, let me grab some wood. I will just give a little blow here, or a blow or two, or a few. We'll see how it goes. You can see one blow gets it going, but You know, another thing that got me was the fact that every single review that I saw, I actually bought this thing at Lehman's, and Lehman's is down in Kidron, Ohio. I was down there, and I saw they had them, they actually didn't have any left online. They had sold out there, and they had one left in a box, and I thought, I'm gonna buy it. They're not cheap, that's the one thing there. They are around $40, and so for a poker, I mean, you can get yourself a $10 poker and be pretty happy with it. But this has a double purpose. I like the fact that it both is a poker, so it gets rid of my need for having a separate one, and it helps me to get the fire started, which is perfect. So I have thoroughly enjoyed this thing. It's actually fully met my expectations. I almost didn't buy it because I was like, man, 10 bucks versus 40, just getting a, you know, standard, you know, iron poker, that'll be good enough, or I could get this thing. And I finally decided, you know what, I'll just give it a try since everybody had a 5-star review on Lehman's. And then I've looked and noticed that they are on Amazon. I'll have a link down below in the description, and it's an affiliate link, so if you're interested, just click on that, and you can see that it has nearly 5 stars on average. It's like 4.8 last I checked out of like 500 reviews. So people obviously really like this thing. It works very, very well. So it's really just basically made my fire starting that much easier. So I'm happy with that. So like I said, if you have any interest, check down below in the description. You'll see the link there. One more thing, if you have not seen our video on wood heat, what to know before you buy, it's gonna be right here, so you're not gonna wanna miss this video. It will help you to know all kinds of things that maybe you had no clue about when it comes to wood stoves. I talk about a little bit about the EPA regulations for 2020, and just simple things foundational to heating your house with wood. So that'll be right here. You don't want to miss it.